Greetings and welcome to another excellent World of Tanks video. What I'm here to show you today is my BegleitPanzer, which this is the final game. Oh, I drive like an idiot somehow. Where my score unlocked the Marder A3, which is fantastic. And that is the tank that is the Era 3 version. Let's see what's over here. And I just wanted to let you know that I'm going to cover that as well as this game here in this video. So I hope you're going to enjoy this combo, and if you do, please leave a like for me. And now let's get to the action for real. So in this video I'm going to show you the game, which is the final game on the BegleitPanzer that you see here, to unlock the Marder A3. And then after that game, we're going to go to the store and I'm going to buy the Marder and I'm going to set it up, going to put the equipment in there and put my commander in there, etc., so you can see what we have and what is recommended by our resident ace Brownie. So you're going to get the straight word from the butt kicker himself, not in his voice, but I contacted him and got the info from him, so that we're going to be implementing the Brownie package. And it's fantastic because that dude is awesome in the A3. I am not, because I have never touched it yet. But anyway, I wanted to wait till I had that and I could show you with this final game, and then go and buy this and set it up. It'll be fantastic. So it would help if you could leave a like for this video if you enjoy it. So let's get going, shall we? Welcome to Mountain Pass. Alright, now we're going to do the game action here, which is really, I had a good solid game, and it was just nice to have that when you're getting close to unlocking the tank. Of course, it makes it better if you run into the rock. That way you can look like an idiot early and then like a, closer to a genius as things, progress. And this idiot comes up right behind me and rams into me to use me as his shield. Make sure, no question, and of course I reported this guy for being an idiot. That's exactly how you don't play the game. And in the real world, he would never do that, because I would have turned around and decked him in one shot. Just that simple. That is the proper punishment for someone who wants to behave like an imbecile. So don't do that. It's just not cool. And I'm being kind when I put it that way. So, alright, now that's another BegleitPanzer like myself. You got the smoke going here. I thought that other guy was going to still be in the area. He wasn't, so I waited to be safe. And now we have plenty of guys here. A couple of guys there, as you can see. Let me see who I can see. I can see this guy. Unfortunately, that rock is blocking me from drilling him, but oh well. It was a safe, guarded shot. Oh, so I took the shot, I couldn't remember exactly the formation of the rocks there, because I've never done that on this map. There you go. This guy's in trouble. Ah! Crud, he ducked behind the rock. Me 0, rocks 2. Okay, so the rock stopped 2 of my shots, but that's okay. Again, I had an opportunity to take a stealthy shot. I took it. Didn't score, but there's nothing wrong with that. There's a guy up top here, as you can see, plus 2 more headed down north on the far side from their base. Now this one, I don't want to go in their base because that lets them know I'm there. Now this guy is on toast right here. M50 ontos. He ducked him like, you jerkweed. I can't blame him, really. But if he would have stayed there and tried to stand to me toe to toe, I'd annihilate him. There he is up here on the ledge. I'm like, oh, my brother, eat this. That's me drilling him hardcore, and he's dead, Jim. So that was fun with my chain gun. The chain gun on this tank is really quite good. Its main problem, if you want to call it that, is that the armor isn't great. And, you know, I say that for myself. This tank is not really my style. It requires a play style that's not natural for me, which makes it harder for me to play it. But it's a good tank. You know, I told my friend Fish that it plays like the Ignis, Warcraft Ignis, except that the bullets are slightly different, and the Ignis carries more ammo. As a premium tank, that's one of the bonuses. It carries more ammo than this tank. This tank is very good, and if your style adapts well to this tank, man, you can have monster games. I've had a handful of good games, but none of them by any stretch were monsters, because it's just one of those things. My rhythm and the rhythm required for this tank is slightly different. So I like it. I recognize that it's a good tank, but it's not the best matchup for me. But that's just me. That's not everybody else. Brownie's a killer in this tank. His rhythm is perfect. So that's the difference. So that's fantastic. You know, we got the win. That other guy who was, you know, when I told you about when we were down there by the smoke, and I mentioned the other guy in the BegleitPanzer, that's the guy that I was trailing behind. He was awesome. His rhythm in this tank is fantastic, as you can tell from the score. Mine is okay, so I have an okay score. Sometimes, you know, when you don't score well in a tank, the tank itself might not be good, or sometimes your own personal rhythm is off. The rhythm is what's off for me. I have a hard time getting the right groove of this tank. I have gotten the right groove a couple of times, and so I had some really good games, and that's the key. So I don't tell people that this tank isn't good if I don't score well. It's just that my rhythm and this rhythm is just, it's not a good match. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Just, you know, being aware that the tanks where you score personally well in, you're going to have a better rhythm or feel, however you want to describe it. And that's going to make sense to you. You're like, oh yeah, you know, I do feel more comfortable in tank, whatever it is, Cold War or World War II. It doesn't make a difference. If you have the right feeling or the right groove or the right rhythm, whatever you want to call it, your scoring is going to be better. You know, especially when you're playing more skilled opposition, because you never know who you're fighting or what type of tank you're fighting. So keep that in mind. You know, mine in this tank, I was okay. It's a really good tank. It's not that great for me. It's, you know, solid. But I already have the Ignis for that. So, yeah, whatever. But highly recommended. The accuracy on this gun is really good. On this one, I did have the upgrade. I have all the upgrades on this tank, both unlocked and then applied to this tank. So I had the faster firing gun that's slightly more accurate. You can use the chain gun as a sniper gun, one shot at a time, if you so desire. It works pretty well. The bullets are a little slow, but at, you know, 300 meters and less, it's really strong. So it's one of those things. It's really good. You just got to know the strengths of this tank and your own personal strengths, and if those things coincide, dude, you're going to be in good shape. Same thing is going to be true, of course, for the Marder, which I will be buying here momentarily. let's go check. Oh, well, you know, like I said, this is the final game I needed to get my stuff because I know I needed less than 5,000 points, and I got 5,800. Didn't hardly make money, but I did, you know, I made a 8,000, which is good. A good 4,600 commander because I killed 3 guys, 2,500 damage, 300 assist. Solid game, no problems there. Did more damage than my hit points, so that's fire for effect. And then I finished top 7. I got a long haul. And the process of finishing this tank was difficult. I was using ×3 tank boosters to help shorten the trip. It was a pretty long trip. So I was using the long haul qualification because once I qualify for long haul in a week, I'm like, I don't want to play this tank. It's boring. Same thing over and over again. You know, sometimes the same thing repeatedly is boring because it's not your groove. That's the reason. If it is your groove, the same thing repeatedly doesn't bother me at all. I can play 101 Scorpion all day long. I can play artillery all day long. My groove is just, you know, is different than other players. It's going to be different than yours, different than your buddies, different from my friends. It's okay. It's no problem. Just be aware of it. So now we've got this done. Let's go to the Marder. All right. Now we're in the Western Alliance part of the tech tree. So we're going to go down this line here, past the Marder A1, past the BegleitPanzer, which we just finished. Thank God. It was a long one. It was pretty tough. Once I got the final upgrade, I think it was 100,000 experience to get to unlock the Marder A3. But we're here. Let's go get it. 4.8 million. Fantastic. All right, here is our Marder. Now, let's go take a look at the equipment. All right, let's look at this gun. The stock accuracy .24 is excellent. Now, for those of you who don't know, for myself, .30 is like minimum level for sniper. So you get .24, that's way better than sniper level. So that's fantastic. Missiles .26, so not a shocker that Brownie rips it up because he's a freak. But the good kind of freak. So I talked to Brownie, got the configuration for him, and it was really simple when he told me what he put in there, because what he puts in there is what I call speed, accuracy, and accuracy. Or I'm sorry, reload and reload. Not that's it. Okay. So we can't put any defensive equipment at all. So we put reload, advanced loader. Oh, actually, let's take a look here. Right now, the reload time on the chain gun is 20.5 seconds. This is with no commander. Missile launcher 15 seconds, which is much faster than the BegleitPanzer. All right, so we get reload, blammo. What does it go now? Now it's 18.45 for the chain gun and 13.5 for the missiles. Fantastic. And we're going to put the fan, which is also, what's the only other thing that would affect the reload of this tank as equipment. So we have the advanced loader in the first slot, and the second slot we're going to put the fan, improved ventilation. I just call it fan. It's a lot simpler. So now we're going to add speed. What is our speed to this guy? This guy rolls. It's a lot easier to see it here. Right now with no commander, 65. So we're going to jack that up. We're going to use plus 10% top speed with the traction. That's going to make that, what, 71.5, so it should say 72. Actually, there's a, well, here's the way to force the numbers to be calculated. Actually, we'll go back here. Let's see if it can be calculated. Yeah, 72. It's really 71.5 or whatever, but close enough. I mean, we can look up here and see. That's the turret. This is the engine. So yeah, right now it's 72.27. My bad. So it must have been rounded down. Now this is rounded down again from 72.25 to 72 flat. Okay, that's fine. So that's speed. The only other speed we can get on here. Whoops. Oh, we got to unlock this, you freak. Yeah, whatever. 1,000. Gone. Free experience. I'm not goofing around. This is Era 3, man. We ain't goofing around here. So we're going to get speed again, which is the horsepower. Advanced powertrain. So this gives you plus 5% speed. So 10% speed would be 7.2. 5% would be 3.6. So now we should have 75.8 ballpark for speed. Let's check it out. There's your 75. Detail speed up here at the engine says 75.88, which I told you 75.8. All right, so now we're 75. Our steel concealment is garbage at 321. What we need to do here, put in our frontline fighters. I always put gold repairs. I don't care, tech tree or premium, it doesn't matter. You don't want to die. I'm going to add enhanced rations because you're going to get a bump on all the stuff that's commander related, or crew related. Sorry, not commander, but you know what I meant. So it's crew related stuff. So the accuracy is going to drop, the reload time is going to drop. Now the accuracy number is going to drop, which means that's less off target, so it's going to become more accurate. So let's go. For example, we had this down. It went from what, 0.25 to 0.23, and this was 0.26, whatever it was. It's gone down. Your speed stays the same. Nothing here. All radio range would slightly increase as well, but the rest you'll have to see here. Like turret rotation has gone up. We're now just under 49 degrees per second. I like to have ballpark of 50. 49 is right there, close enough. Accuracy during rotation is down to 0.77, which is great. That is the deviation off of center. So anything under 0.8 is very good. So we're doing great here. Now when we put the commander in, we're going to get another bump on these things as well. We also want to put in, for the starting, we'll go with gold first aid. Now we want to look at, go back again here. So if we use gasoline instead of first aid, you're going to get an increase of 10% turret rotation, which means basically you're going to get another almost 5 degrees per second. So it's going to go from just under 49 to right about 54. If we do that, it's kind of a danger. Another thing I want to look at was the fire chance. It's only 10% in this tank, which is really good. So that's not a problem. Reload time is now dropped to 17 and 0.3 seconds, 17 and 1/3 seconds for the chain gun, down to 12.68, which it was 13.5 on the rocket. So this is getting to be fantastic. That's why this tank is a vicious killer, because the reload of the rockets is lower. That's really helping. And same thing with the chain gun. So now let's get this commander in here, Leanna. So let's go to the commander, click on her vehicle assignment. We're now going to shove her in this Marder, which is a gray box. There it is. Marder A3. We're going to assign her. Fantastic. You know, now as a 3-star commander, because she's in a tech tree tank for my commander building, it will cost gold to switch her nation, but she doesn't need to switch nations. She's my training commander for any blue nation tank. Any tech tree tank. If I want to run a tech tree tank, I want to use her. I don't want to corrupt another commander unless that's like a 1-star, which doesn't matter. You know, a cheaper commander. So let's look at her skills. All right, so Brownies is slightly different. Now the thing I have for her is pain tolerance. I was using that because if I use pain tolerance, I can use gasoline to get extra turret rotation. She may not need that. So what I'm going to do before I make a final decision on whether or not to respec her commander, I'm going to roll like this and see how it goes as far as damage to my crew. And if the damage on the crew isn't profound, I would swap it out and use either smoke or, you know, for camouflage, or I would use gasoline for increased turret rotation. But I don't think what also happens whenever you increase the turret rotation, any way that you do it, you also increase the accuracy during rotation number. So it would go from like 0.77 to 1.0 whatever, which can be a pain. It just you'll see when you're shooting the guns at guys as they're moving and you're trying to track them. It'll depend on your tank. That's all I can tell you if you haven't really paid attention to it before. It's kind of a big deal, and you would like to, whoops, wrong guy, that's BegleitPanzer. Now, in fact, so since I showed it to you, I'm going to explain this, what you saw. What you saw here, wait a second, that's not the right one, you dummy. There we go. What you see here, the orange box in the equipment, this is a stabilizer bar to reduce the accuracy, the deviation in accuracy during rotation. The accuracy during rotation in this one is 0.85, which is not good, and that's using the stabilizer. So the stability of this gun is inferior to the A3. So that's, you know, what was going on there. And I adjusted my equipment from speed to camouflage net as well, which I might do again on the A3. It just depends. But in the beginning, we don't know. So now this dude is the top dog. The only thing I don't know for sure. Now this is for me personal. It'll differ for you guys depending on what you have and what your skills are, etc. But for me in Era 3, I'm really looking to play Weasel. Okay? No matter how good this is, the Weasel is probably what I'm playing because it's a more difficult skill set. I've been working on that one in general. I assume they'll be fairly similar. I don't know. So right now I'm using just temporary camos because I don't know if that's the case, if that's really how it's going to be, or will it be kind of 50-50. I don't know. And so since I don't know, I don't want to commit myself to putting full camo on the tank that I'm not going to use, you know, for a primary guy. Because now one of the things I have, as you could see, I'm going to show it to you here. Let's just shove it here on the desert. One of the things I have that would look awesome, probably, and yeah, it does look awesome. This Marder A3 looks killer with this Dune Sandworm camo. I have to say this looks really great on this tank. But if I don't use this tank, it's not going to be worth throwing this camo away on this tank. So I want to find out if this is a tank I'm going to be playing substantially or not. I don't care about that. The rest of that stuff doesn't mean anything to me. So this dude, we're ready to go. Let's check the numbers and see what we got. So with the commander put in here, if you look at the left, you'll see the turret picture. Turret rotation is now 50.1. That's just, almost 51 degrees. Actually, during rotation, it says is 77. I guess that's true. I don't have, there's a snapshot commander skill, which I don't have. Now, here's a secret. If you take enhanced rations off of the tank, it'll force a recalculation of the values. Okay, and then we're going to put it back on. And this, again, when you put it back on, it'll force the calculations to be recalculated. So we can see accuracy during rotation is floored out at 0.77, apparently. We can't affect this with commander beyond that. So now the reload time for the chain gun is down to 14.5 seconds. And we go down to the rocket launcher, 10.67. That's crazy. This is why it's a killer tank. Now, our still concealment 273 isn't bad. It's not super great. This is what, leads me to believe. Now, I personally, like I said, I adjusted my speed factor on my BegleitPanzer, and I took off the traction to give room for camouflage netting. Let's take a look here. This you can do for nothing. I have a reserve of these, so it doesn't cost me to stick it on here. So we put this on here. This is going to drop the camo rating. It says 271. That can't be right. But let's find out. And then 233. And now I'm going to put the rations back on to recalculate it. And it's 231. So 231 with the smoke. If we have the camo netting, it's going to drop at a big time, probably to under 200 is my guess. 200 or less, depending. Not a big deal. So here, my recommendation would be to go with what we have, play a game, check it out, see what's going on, maybe 2 or 3 games, and see how it's going before we make final adjustments. Because if I want to change equipment, I'm going to lose money on the deal, but that's okay. I'm going with, this is the Brownie setup. Reload, speed, and speed. Now remember, enhanced rations, fan, and born leader. I have all 3 of these on this tank / commander. They do the same thing, and they're all stackable. So we're stacking all 3 of these. That's why my missile reload time was 10.68. It's just ridiculous because we are set to the max on full crew bonuses. Fire chance is now down because of those crew bonuses from 10 to 5.88. Terrific. So you're not hardly ever going to catch fire in this tank. And I'm not, actually I think my commander does have the fire prevention. Yes, she does. Okay, so that's the deal. Fire prevention, dropped it. And then once you have fire prevention on your commander, then the born leader will affect your fire chances. The fan will also reduce the fire, and the enhanced rations will reduce the fire once again. So the difference that Brownie had is that he did not have this. We both have camo expertise, which is great. So his deal, he did not have the pain tolerance. He has run and gun, and there's another one he has, and I'm having him drawing a blank on what it is. Let me look at this real quick. When I see it, I'll know. See, I would probably put snapshot to reduce the accuracy number during rotation because it's that big of a deal. Oh, he has, this is what he has, and I'm going to put this on there too for sure. Deadeye. Because when you have Deadeye, every time you hit, it's 6% more likely that's going to cause a fire. It's not every time, but this gun is a vicious gun. So yes, when you ream a guy with this gun, good. That's like fire chance. That's what it's like. It's fantastic. So yes, this is Brownie has this, and I'm thinking now. I don't have steady aim because she doesn't need it in these tanks. These tanks all have terrific accuracy. Steady aim would and does affect accuracy during rotation. It affects regular accuracy and also accuracy during rotation. So there's an outside chance I'm going to respec this, drop this muffled shot, drop the Sixth Sense. I don't really need it. I will definitely drop the pain tolerance and put on Deadeye for sure, Snapshot for sure, and then I'll have another open slot to put whatever I feel that like Brownie has a run and gun. That's probably what I would put on there. You know, the binoculars would be good too. What's our vision? This thing is a 609 vision. Yeah, when you put on the binoculars, dude, it's gonna get nasty, like 650 plus. Because you remember, you get the vision. I mean, you get the binoculars, which is like a 6 or 7%, but the 3 crew perks help on the vision as well, and it could knock it close to 700. I've seen visions on other tanks in excess of 700, which means when you're 700 away, they pop up and everybody sees them. Okay, so that's a killer. So there's another option there. I'm not sure. We're going to go and see it. I'm going to pause this, play a game, at least one, for you to see. I'll get you a good game so you can see the results of what I've done here. All right. The good news is I'm back from the game. And it was only one game. Now, I'm going to show you that game, and then we're going to come back to the garage, and we're going to implement some changes that need to be done. So let's go check out the game. Welcome to Hellfire Pass. So I was lucky to have a really good game, the first one out there. And I was kind of worried because I'm more used to my Weasel or my other Era 3 tanks like the M60AX. So I was trying to be a little careful. Fortunately, there was only one Weasel per side, so that wasn't too bad. Because the Weasel can butcher this tank if you're not careful. So the speed is decent, you know, but I probably need to add gasoline because this gun, I found out, fires very, very rapidly. So it will be a prime anti-Weasel tank. But it's going to need more speed. You know, 75 plus isn't going to get it. We need to get 80, about 82 or 83 is what we'll get when we put gasoline here. So that'll be the first change that I'm going to make. And there's no rush to alter my commander, because when I take the gasoline out, that pain tolerance will become more valuable to help my crew from being whacked. It's like First Aid Junior, it's what it really is. Now this is a killer shot that I launched. This guy was jacking back and forth. I guess I already hit the guy when I was talking to you. That freak trying to roll up on me. I don't need anybody rolling up on me, especially when they have a bigger gun than me. I'm reloading my missile. Now I'm ready to rock, baby. Let's go. You know, the turret on this guy is very small, which makes it a harder target to hit. I like that. You know, everybody who has this tank that I know says it's really good, and believe me, they're not lying. Right now I'm trying to use my chain gun to rip these guys, especially the Weasel if I can get him, because its firing rate is really good. It's a little bit better. I think this tank is a little bit better than, say, the Bradley, because the Bradley is much bulkier and the easier target in general. Not bad, not bad. Rocket would be better, but it wasn't loaded, so it's fine. You know, but we're doing okay. You know, up 2 guys, that's always helpful. Eat that. Bang, baby. That did no damage, but it looked fantastic. That was the good news, bad news scenario. Nice. That was really good damage. I didn't kill anybody in this tank, but, you know, I was able to hit targets reliably. The guns fired well because they had low dispersal of the bullets, and I'm killed. But you'll see I was effective. Still got the Stormer. He did pretty good in this match. Stormer is another really good tank I have. You know, it is an anti-weasel. It's very fast and quite mobile. You know, that Marder A3 is a very good tank, a really, really good tech tree regular tank. You know, that's not a premium. So it's got that going for it. I mean, to me, it seemed like it would be as good, you know, as a comparable premium tank. So it's worth it. In one game of playing it, now I played against it many times in my Weasel and other Era 3 tanks. It's really a good tank. And it's definitely worth the grinding to get it, because you're gonna have to work your butt off to get it. But if you get it, man, these guys, they kick butt. And the Stormer didn't even have a chance to really show much of what his tank can really do. Missile him, dude. Nasty, he did. Fantastic. That's why I remember that this guy did well. Yeah, he was MVP. I'd say that was done well. Warwolf had a good game as well. I remember him. Okay. Like I said, this was my very first game in the A3. I can't complain. I've got no upgrades. Okay, I did upgrade for the 4th equipment slot. That was it. But other than that, I have no upgrades. It worked fine. 2600 out of the first gate. I mean, out of the gate for the first match is really good. Now, I was using a ×5 experience booster for the tank to work my way to the upgrades. So, you know, 5,000 commander points, great. Made money, great. I gotta change some stuff though. Didn't kill anybody, but you know, I'm not really ready. Sharpshooter, you know, that chain gun drilled 10 times in a row without missing. Fantastic stuff. So, just came in on the outside of the long haul. But, you know, first game, you can't complain, man. I'm telling you, it was good. Okay, so what I need to do here is work on the stuff that I didn't do. Like, number one, I need to check this premium business. There's none here, which is good. What are these magazines? I don't even know what this magazine holds. Yeah, it's probably good. Okay, so now let's go check into the equipment and see what we got. Okay, what I forgot to do was check on these missiles for premiums. I didn't have any premiums. but from previous experimentations of missiles, yeah, the premium has a better penetration, so I'm just going to go with all premium and don't worry about it. So there we go. Switch that to premium. Now we have, man, the smoke is great, but let's see what happens when we change from smoke to gas. How much, camouflage we have? About 270? Yeah, 270. Welcome to Rozaniai. Gesundheit. Alright. Now this game is a bizarre game. Sometimes a bizarre game like this one can be very instructive. I saw this dude going over here, I saw those other guys, I figured, well, there's going to be a decent amount of guys going to the right, as is usually the case. But apparently, I was lazy and not paying attention that it's just two of us. So I saw that guy go, that's fine, he'll go to there, I'll go up there, and the other guys will be joining because I'm faster. Well, stupid me, I didn't pay attention to look and see that there's nobody backing me up at all. So I almost became KFC special of the week for dinner or whatever. I'm like, hey, wait a second, man. I just got reamed by this guy. One rocket. I need to get the heck out of Dodge. So that's what I'm doing. I got lucky and he missed. I got ramming, so you're not going to do damage to me, but ramming me really at all, Weasel. But that, again, I got lucky and that rocket missed. So sometimes you got to catch a break to have a decent score. And believe me, this is not a great game for me. But I ended up with a decent score because I caught some breaks. Those missiles missing, either one of those could have killed me. As you can see, my health is not good. Fortunately, our MVP, spoiler alert, was talking and informing us, him and his buddy were playing together, so that was fantastic. They were talking in the open, conversation, so they weren't in a party. So I got help from them, verbally, and then at the end of the game you'll see I got help physically, which was fine. That guy was terrific. That was that guy, Rydas. His thing is change whatever the heck it is. Right, change the game, DOA. Super nice guy. Really good player in that AMX-40. Let me tell you, that guy was awesome. So he was doing his business. Now I was over here creating a separate threat just in case, because my health is so low. You got to contribute to your team any way you can. In this case, was like, well, let me get on the base, try to, put a threat of a base capture that might break their concentration and give my boys a chance to make a move. And that did happen, but I'm not 100% sure if that was that much of an effect. Now, I noticed we were winning, and so I asked, DOA if we were good. He goes, oh yeah, dude, we got this. I said, all right, you're the boss. So he said we were, good to leave the base, and so I did that. And I'm fighting this weasel, because his gun is pretty good, but you can't use the auto lock. It won't hit him. So I had to disengage the auto lock and manually aim this gun. But, this is still a learning process for this tank. And I made some adjustments in the equipment. So we'll get to those when I get back to the garage. But going one-on-one with this weasel was very helpful because this is it's decent against weasels. It's not great. But you can hold your own with that gun. That, you know, if you can manually aim this gun, you can rip people in a weasel. So this is the case of there. I got help coming in right there, and that's probably DOA himself because he's got the similar gun on his AMX-40. That dude was like, "Hang on, Duke," you know. It was being very uplifting, sort of. I'm like, I got it. I'm not afraid to sacrifice myself for the team if that's what it takes. But he was, you know, super nice guy, you know, trying to help anyone on the team that he could help, and you know, that means me. But I was drilling this guy, so I ended up getting a decent-ish score, considering I almost got killed. Anything after that, it's a bonus, you know what I'm saying? And he got him. Nice kill right there, DOA. And MVP. That's an unbelievable score, 12 grand. Just fantastic stuff. He was really awesome, dude. And like I said, you know, normally you don't have such an uplifting conversation from the guy who's in the business of being an MVP. So that was super helpful. So now we come back to the garage. Let's check this out. I mean, I didn't have a great game. Let's go to the end of game screen. All right. As you can see, I got 815 damage, but that was basically all after I almost died. So this was very helpful as a lesson. Well, you can almost die, but fight to live, because if you can survive and escape, you might actually do decent. My team won. That dude was, you know, doing a tremendous job leading us to victory. And that was very helpful. And actually, I didn't score a lot of points, but this tank gets a bonus apparently, like a weasel. So yeah, this is the you know, level 1 of Era 3. So like the weasel, I'm at the bottom of the barrel. Anything decent in score will get you, well, a long haul, which was fantastic after I adjusted it. So, you know, thanks to the help that I got from our MVP, you know, DOA, it worked out great for me. I mean, I was almost dead. You all saw it. That's why I wanted to show you, because I started out terrible in this game, but hung in there and at least got a semi-respectable result out of almost being dead. So, man, I lucked out big time. And like I said, you got to catch a break or two, and I caught those missiles that missed. Those are the breaks I needed, you know, to have a, you know, at least a something of a game, not a garbage game, because I was on pace to have garbage. So I was really thankful to have him kick butt, and then personally came back to save me, if you want to be honest about it. He told me he would do it. It was really awesome. Okay, so now let's look at this tank. Let me tell you what I did. What I did is I adjusted the equipment. So went with speed, speed, and speed. This is my consumables, which is the gasoline. So I went for the 79 speed, and that let me fight the weasel somewhat decently. I maxed my turret rotation. It's as good as it can get, and that is what, almost 55 degrees per second. So I put on the snapshot on my commander and the stabilizer bar to reduce my actually during rotation. I also added the steady aim that Brownie had on there, and that's how I have a 0.50 accuracy during rotation. So it lets me shoot the weasel as he's circling me when it's on manual aim. That is the key. Without that adjustment, you're going to have a hard time. So you basically, in my opinion, you have two choices. You're either going to be able to fight a weasel or you're not. And I don't want to be in a tank where I cannot fight a weasel. It's not a good thing. So I sold my soul, as it were, figuratively, to get accuracy during rotation, to get both the accuracy and the accuracy during rotation. And so I really shoved everything I could that would fix the accuracy during rotation, which is the steady aim improves it, the snapshot improves it, and the stabilizer bar. Those three things improve it. And I had to sacrifice. My fan is gone, and my camouflage net is gone, so my camo isn't that great. But it's not really a sniper anyway. You can make it more sniperish if you want, but you'll be carved like a turkey if the light tanks or the weasels roll up on you. So it's like, no, I need to be able to defend against a weasel attack, which you saw, and that weasel made many different passes on me, unsuccessful. So I was able to keep myself alive against a weasel. 2 would have been another story, but hey, do the best you can. So this is my adjustment. Now, as you can see in my commander, I have room for one more skill whenever I get the next 1,000,000 points. All right. So realistically, let's look at this and see. Now, I really don't want to use rapid aim, because rapid aim also increases the inaccuracy during rotation. So this guy, rapid aim, is kind of out of the question. I could do it. It's like, I don't think so. The thing I want to put on there really, I think, is controlled impact. This is the number one thing. I have not had really much trouble with the fire or with the crew. So at this point, it's controlled impact is my primary. Yeah, my fire chances of 10% aren't bad. So, my reloads are okay. You can't have everything. My fan, I'm missing the fan, but it's only a tiny amount. I still have the Born Leader, and I still have the advanced rations. So, like I said, that last game, I didn't have a great score. I did get a long haul, which is good, but the information I got from that game was that my adjustments were working as I had hoped that they would. So, and this is the thing, you have to adjust your tank's attributes that fit what you need and fit your game, and that's what I did. So Brownie's is slightly different. He has reload, speed, and he has the camo net when I chose to put the stabilizer bar on here to jack up my accuracy during rotation. It's a huge advantage. So that's the difference that I have done versus Brownie's setup. He's got it set for himself, and he's a killer scorer in this tank. Now, also, you have to take into mind that I don't have upgrades to speak of. I just unlocked the suspension here. So let's get the suspension. I don't really know. Hull rotation speed. I guess that's an increase. I didn't pay attention. So yes, it is. So that's not bad. But I have upcoming. Let's take a look at the upgrades that are upcoming. Next one is my engine. That'll be fantastic. I'll get more speed out of that. So right now, I am sitting at what? 79 and change. Well, the upgrade for the engine is going to jack it up to what, 86, almost 87. That's the top speed this can get. So I'm going to get a speed boost out of this, which is fantastic. And that's going to put me, the average weasel will go 92. The max the weasel can go is 97. So basically it'll put me about 10 kilometers per hour behind the fastest weasel. That's very good. That's good enough. 10 is good enough to where they can't outrun you blatantly. Yes, they're faster, but you can hang it. It gives you enough time to do some damage in a trailing position. That's the thing you need to understand. So it's looking good at this point. So I'm going to stop this video because I know it's kind of long. There's actually 3 battles in here. I only expected to put 1 in. But what I learned from that last battle, even though numerically I didn't score well, the info was quite good. And it's going to help me because remember, I'm having good success at low upgrade amounts. I don't have any gun upgrades. I don't have the engine upgrade. And I'm feeling like this tank is very good. My only, real contradiction to that is that when I have a weasel and I'm really good at weasel, I'm better in the weasel than I am at this tank, I think. Because I can affect the game's outcome a little better so far. Now again, I don't have full upgrades, but at this point my ability to impact a game victory in the weasel is better than it is in this tank. But this is a very good tank. So if you don't have a weasel, yeah, this dude is a butt kicker for sure. Brownie has both, like myself. He's got all the upgrades, I believe. So that's the thing. I mean, I've seen him. He's awesome in this tank. And, I'm hoping to get, some fraction of that awesomeness level. And it's going pretty well so far. So if you're working on this line of tanks to get this dude, it's worth it. For sure. Just don't waste money on buying boosters, unlock them, what have you, and use whatever you have if you need to. But don't go ape trying to buy your way through it. You can. It's up to you. I'm not telling you what to do, but I have stockpiled. I don't do very many tank lines, so all the boosters I would get from seasons or operations or contracts, etc., I've just been stockpiling those. And I had a monster stash. I went through this line, and after this line, I'm not going to go through another line. It's really that simple. So great stuff for me overall. Great reporting for you guys that this is not a waste of time. This is a very good tank. I mean, the BegleitPanzer is also very good, as is the Marder A1. Those were all solid, and the one before that, the Rocket Jagdpanzer, Rocketen. So these are all solid. As long as you don't go ape and buy boosters, you're good. Just roll through them as you can. I'm doing this and also trying to pick up long hauls as a bonus. It makes it a little less tedious. And I'm working on my commander, trying to build this chick up higher. So I got 1 million more to go in this tank. So we'll do what we can. But I wanted to give you guys the whole kind of process, right from the ground floor of this tank. Butt-kicking tank. You're going to enjoy it, I believe. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like to help spread the word. Tell your friends about it. That way they can look at what was going on, see what I did, look at the lessons that I have presented for you so that you can make your interpretations on your own skills as well as what I have done. And maybe they'll leave a like or subscribe, whatever. So I want to thank you guys for watching the video. It's kind of longer than normal, but it's kind of cool, and so it's out of necessity. I don't plan these videos. I just do them until I feel I've covered what we need to cover to help players become more informed and better. So look forward to seeing you guys in another video, and that's all. I will see you later. I got more stuff to do. Thanks a lot.